I'm back in the womb, ready for another Ponder This. Again, all inspiring. Ponder This, Ponder This, Ponder This. I wanted to understand wisdom a little bit more, and it's something that I call on quite often. You know, we have access to it like we have access to the bank, and I really feel that wisdom is our withdrawal check. If we deposit information, then we can always withdraw, or either draw on it, draw from it, like a well, the wisdom well. The reason why I wanted to understand wisdom, because it's really about emotions and feelings, and in my growth and in my expansion, I am learning to dedicate myself to feeling and listening to my inner gut, which I say is our inner God. So wisdom is the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. Wisdom. But I kind of like the second definition of it as well, and I'll read that one. The soundness of an action or decision. Did you hear that? The soundness of an action or decision with regard to the application of experience, knowledge, and good judgment. I think the Bible kind of quotes, when you know better, you'll do better. When you know better, you'll do better. Sound decision based on good judgment or experience, right? How many times do you have to go through something to learn that you need to make a change? You're not listening to the inner voice of God. See? Sometimes that comes from you don't think that you're worthy enough to receive the right message. You are worthy. You are birthed out of God's consciousness and creation. You are worthy to be connected to yourself, your higher self, in order to make good judgments for oneself. Now, I can't make a judgment for anybody else. I don't know them well enough to know whether it's a good judgment or not. We're all individuals. Again, I can't judge. I didn't walk in your moccasins. I didn't, have the same path. I didn't develop and grow in the same household community that you did. I didn't hear the things that you heard, So how can I come in and make a judgment call? All I can do is suggest options. Your feelings will tell you what direction to take. They're like a barometer. You know, when it gets too hot, you don't put on clothes, you take clothes off because you're feeling hot. When you're cold, you don't take off clothes, you put clothes on because you're trying to make the body warm, because the body is signaling to you to get some more clothes on, or else we're going to freeze to death, or we're going to get goosebumps, or I'm just chilly, right? We want to be comfortable. Are we listening to ourselves? Are we listening to our emotions? Men have been taught to shut it down. Man up. Man up is not to have emotions. Basically, that's what you're saying. Man up. You can't feel. You can't be God, is what you're asking a man to do. You're asking him to detach himself from his higher source and become human. Not to interact with God is what you're asking him to do. Wow, feel that one. I got you. I always fought against that man up word anyway. Man up. Really? What does it mean? Prepare to die. Because most people are manning up to go to war, to meet their maker. That's what you're manning up for. We're out of that society. It's a thinking society right now. We don't have to war with anybody, fight with anybody to say who's the king of the jungle. Those days are over. If you don't have a brain. But I digress. Man up. I'll come back to that one. Wisdom. To make wise decisions is to be able to feel, to connect with your higher self in order to know what direction to take. The body doesn't lie. We are conduits. You think electricity gets a vibration, right? And it says going this way. And when we cut off that vibration, it's not still going. It got switched off. But when it's switched on, it knows to move. And your emotions are the energy turned on, directing you to move. What is it saying? I'm uncomfortable here. Oh. I'm uncomfortable here. Which means I must have to move over there. Let's try that. Or over there. Either way, I have to move. I have to make movement. Follow your gut. There was something else that I was able to kind of take over and learn. Parable sayings. I'm going to give you a parable saying that we've all heard of. We've all heard of this parable saying, don't fight the feeling. Don't fight the feeling. See? Big up to the wise women of the world. Big up to the wise men of the world. There are a lot of sayings in our music, in our art, in our songs, in our everyday just knowing our elders. Don't fight the feeling. Was one that I heard. And so, source in my connection said that's a parable of knowledge for you to remember. So when you start getting ready to cry, or you feel anxious, or you're nervous, or That's your higher self talking to you. Either preparing you for something that you're about to walk into, so be prepared, or letting you know you need to walk, run, or crawl out of this situation. Don't fight the feeling. I am loving to live and living to love. Peace, y'all.